Welcome to ShortView Trading, it's your morning market hit for Wednesday, 9th of December. What matters today for traders? Well, the grind higher continues and the S&P 500 eked out another gain in the cash session yesterday, closing 0.3% higher. That marked another record closing high for the S&P 500, the first one above 3,700. But it wasn't just the S&P. A whole variety of US equity indices made new closing highs yesterday, including the Nasdaq 100, the Dow Jones Transportation Index, and indeed the Philly Sox. And in fact, if you look at the chart of the Philly Sox in front of you now, you can see it's almost gone vertical. The Sox is up 52% year to date. It's up almost 80% from its lows in March. And it's basically taken on pretty much near vertical ascent. And in fact, if you look at a model of the Philly Sox relative to its long-term trend line, i.e. relative to its 200-day moving average, you can see it's almost plus 2 standard deviations overextended to the upside. Now, having said that, and as you can see in that model, that's quite extreme relative to recent years, but back in the growth TMT bubble, it did much more than that, rising significantly above the 2 standard deviation overextended to the upside level. The Russell 2000 also made a gain and a new closing high. And in fact, the Russell was the standout performer yesterday. And for more detail on this theme and how the models are behaving and our 1 to 2 week recommendation on equity futures, please see today's Daily Rag available to subscribers via the website. Anyhow, as this grind high is continuing, 3 signs have emerged which are making us a little bit more cautious about playing on the long side in the near term. In particular, if you look at the behavior of Bitcoin, you can see in the chart in front of you now, its advance has been stalling out over the course of December, the first few trading sessions from the back end of November as well. And of course, Bitcoin's a terrific leading indicator of the S&P's direction and moves about 1 to 2 weeks ahead of it. We've talked about that on a variety of videos over recent weeks and months. So Bitcoin's stalling out, that's troubling in the near term. Secondly, the dollar is no longer softening, and in fact, the trade-weighted dollar index was up for the last couple of sessions. And as you'll have seen from many of our videos, particularly Monday this week, a weak dollar has been one of the key drivers of the S&P's strength relative to the rest of the world in recent weeks and months. And thirdly, the evidence of speculation in the markets continues to build. If you look at the chart in front of you now, the call option volume is back at high levels. That's indicative of high call option buying of many single stocks in the US and indicative of speculation that we often see at local highs in markets. Plus, of course, the seasonality, with the market typically weak in December into the middle of the trading month, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th trading day, which is looming early next week. And added to that, we've got the ECB meeting coming up tomorrow, Thursday, where Lagarde could surprise positively or indeed disappoint markets. Net, though, it could have quite an influence on the euro-dollar direction and an influence, therefore, on markets going forward from here. So that uncertainty about what the ECB will do adds to the question marks over how to play this market, particularly when the message of the models is growing to be a sell message, and it's increasingly troubling in that respect. All of which, of course, makes us nervous to continue to play this grind higher. But for full detail on how we're playing this, please see today's Daily Rag available to subscribers via the website. So what are we watching today? Well, today's data is fairly light, but the JOLTS data in the US will be interesting, and the Bank of Canada's got a policy decision. Elsewhere, it's probably all eyes really on the ECB tomorrow, Thursday. That'll be critical. There's a press conference as well from Lagarde after the announcement at lunchtime in London time. Other than that, of course, we're interested in the price action in Bitcoin and what US 10-year bond yields are up to as well as the dollar. So that's it from us. That's your morning market hit for Wednesday, 9th of December. Thank you for listening. Please do subscribe on YouTube. Simply search under ShortView Trading or follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn and or Facebook. Thank you for listening. Stay safe. Trade well.